Bit of good news, Eric. Thank you for that. With the start of a brand new decade, getting out of debt might be at the top of your list. Whether it's credit card debt, auto loans, even student debt you are trying to shake off, our next guest has 5 ways to help improve your finances.
That's right. Here to help make 2020 the year you accomplish that get out of debt resolution, certified financial planner and president of Shakiba Capital, Trevor Shakiba. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, this is really interesting. According to creditcards.com, Texas has the 3rd highest average credit card debt, a little over $9,000.
Yeah.
A person, right?
Absolutely. So that number actually shocked me. I didn't think it would be almost $10,000.
Yeah.
And so what I want to do is make January, let's make that month all about debt and make 2020, get your money right and really make progress towards getting out of debt so you're not in the exact same position next year.
We like the sound of that.
Yeah, and a lot of people hear that though and think, I cannot get out of it. You know, they feel like they're at the bottom of the barrel and continue to climb. So how do we tackle it?
Yeah, so my first tip, and this may sound a little funny, but you got to stop creating new debt. So, you know, you may make a couple steps forward and then all of a sudden it's 2 or 3 steps back and it feels like you never can get out of that quicksand. So that's the number one thing. Stop the cycle. And look, here we're going to talk about this more, but be prepared to take drastic steps, meaning cut up the cards, or we're going to talk about income, changing your lifestyle, maybe getting some accountability. If it's been 3, 4, 5 years, you've had the same goal and you still haven't made progress. So let's make 2020 the year.
And Trevor, you say brutal honesty is key here. We've got to evaluate the problem. Why is this debt happening in the first place? And you say there are a number of contributing factors to that.
Yeah, so the question is what's the real problem? And it's usually 2 things, spending, and then also you don't have a cushion, because when you don't have a cushion, then you go right back into debt. And remember, things are going to go wrong. Life's going to happen. And so I probably don't have the time to go into all of the reasons why spending is a problem. I'm certainly not a psychologist, but that's another key thing to think about. Why do you find yourself continuing to live above your means as opposed to within your means?
The other thing is having that appropriate cash reserve. A lot of people say if an emergency happened, there's nothing I could do if I didn't have my credit cards or open a new credit card. If you're in that debt situation, a lot of people think, how do I get that liquid or the cash?
Yeah, that is critical. The cash reserve is critical because, as we talked about, things are going to go wrong. And let me just say this. Remember, the general rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of expenses, and that may, to the viewers, be astronomical. So remember, any amount is better than none. Start with an amount that's achievable, $500 or $1,000. And I always say this, get that cash reserve away from your checking account so you're not tempted to spend it all the time.
And anyone who has been hit with unemployment or unexpected medical expenses, they know that those cash reserves disappear a lot faster than we think, right? So 3 to 6 months minimum, but more if possible.
Absolutely. I mean, I know some folks that want to have a year, especially if you're in an industry where there's turnover. So just keep all those things in mind. It's not a one-size-fits-all.
Okay, and sorry to jump in, Courtney, but whether it's using an app or just simply writing things down the old-fashioned way, there are a number of ways that people need to get organized, Trevor, in order to get out of debt.
Yeah, that's my 4th tip, and we've talked about it before, but you would be shocked how many people, they really just have no idea where their money goes and how many debts they have, what the interest rates are, minimum payments. You've got to start somewhere, and brutal honesty is what we're after. Just getting organized can be a phenomenal step in actually taking action, which is what we're really after here.
The other thing is, too, I think a lot of people will think, man, if I only had X amount extra a month, I could get ahead. And so that's one of the things, maybe getting a little side hustle, figuring out a way to make a little extra.
Yeah, that's my last tip. And again, my question first here is how bad do you really want to get out of debt? And if you really do, then think outside the box. And instead of just focusing on how much you can save, because a lot of times there's really not that much money, think about the other side of it. How can you increase your income? Get a part-time job. What about selling that $900 a month payment to your car that's super nice and getting a used car? What about all the junk you have in your house? How about selling some of that? And so, again, if you really want to get out of debt, then let's get after it and be aggressive and make 2020 the year.
I agree. Plus, I mean, I think just getting things down on paper and realizing that for a lot of folks, if they're spending hundreds of dollars every month simply in that credit card interest, imagine what not having that debt would be like and not paying those extra hundreds of dollars every month.
You know, not giving those extra dollars to someone else, turning around and using it for yourself and maybe even investing it.
Good tips.
We can all get out of debt together, Trevor.
Yeah, let's
Thank
do
you
it.
so much. By the way, if any of you have questions for Trevor regarding getting out of any kind of debt, head on over to our Facebook page and send us a message, because Trevor will be answering them on Facebook Live. I think we're going to do that Facebook Live right after the show today, Trevor.
Let's do it.
All right,
Okay.
sounds great. And to connect with Trevor, visit ShakibaCapital.com.